Everybody to Fight Logic TV here in the studio. What's going on, everyone? I am Juan, and today we are graced with the presence of two awesome photographers here from San Jose. You guys from San Jose?
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara. All right, we got Dominic Wong and we got Adam Hayes. How's it going, gentlemen?
Great. How you doing?
Great, thank you.
Hello.
So, anyone that's around the MMA or definitely around Fight Logic has definitely seen your guys' pictures. I've seen your pictures. And probably seen you running around with your backpack and your camera and all your lenses and everything else. So tell me, how'd you guys get started?
I guess I got started with Dominic. He had a shoot with AKA and invited me to go along. And since my son did mixed martial arts at Extreme Martial Arts, I was willing and ready to go.
Nice. And what about yourselves? How did you guys actually get into the camera field? Well, what actually got you guys into taking pictures? Whoever.
I actually got started. It was actually a bit of an accident, actually. I started off in high school. I originally aspired to actually be a cartoonist.
Oh, nice.
And I grew up drawing tons of pictures and just, I loved drawing Calvin and Hobbes, things like that there. And then what I ended up doing was in school, I drew for the school newspaper and school yearbook. And one year they finally said, no more cartoons. And so I was almost devastated at one point because of that there. But my yearbook teacher, Bob Nichols, he ended up telling me, he said, well, pick up a camera. Do the same exact thing that you do with your compositions in drawing as you do in the frame, and you'll be fine. And pretty much it turned out to basically be that way. I started painting pictures with photographs, and here's me 10 years later.
Oh, nice.
Still shooting.
That's awesome. So what's your favorite camera? What kind of camera do you use?
I use a digital SLR, and it's definitely, I actually, a lot of digital SLRs I can shoot on, but I think the favorite lens that I definitely have, it's definitely when it comes to photography, you want to talk about a lens, just because it's kind of like film going through a camera. You can use pretty much anything and you'll still get pretty much a image that you can use. But the biggest lens that I tend to lug around, I like the 100 millimeter, and then basically I'm extreme, so nice. I go 100 and then 24 millimeters wide. So,
so I'm going to go one or the other.
Yes, sir. So
what got you into starting to actually take pictures of mixed martial arts?
Well, Adam is actually, between the two of us, Adam is definitely the sports enthusiast. He loves to watch mixed martial arts and all sorts of different sports on TV and everything. And the thing was that one night he invited me over watching MMA, and I've seen the MMA sports and everything, and we actually worked on our first job with AKA and Myotechnology, and basically these are trainers that train with the MMA fighters. And when I brought the job to him, he got super excited, and then he started teaching me a little bit more about what was the field about and everything, and we started shooting together more, and we started hanging out.
Nice.
And pretty soon it was pretty much we created this group that we basically shoot with, and we bring people in from time to time to shoot with us. But I tend to work more on the creative end, where we create the banners or we create the header spaces, and then from there, Adam's specialty is definitely in candid photography. If there's anyone who hits focus whenever, this is Adam, and he's always out there. We see him all the time.
Yeah, we see him all, being with the Fight Logic family. You're there on everything that we're doing. It seems like you're always around, and I love your pictures. Seriously, the composition, it just looks great. There's just just something about it. You do like Dom said, you do hit those moments, because when I look at those pictures, sometimes I'm like, wow, that's a great shot. In it, just that one shot by itself, it tells so much. There's a big story in it. One of my favorite pictures is a picture of Ralph, the founder's son, and Ty is a smaller guy, but he's in mixed martial arts, and he doesn't quit. And there's that one shot of him when he's like fully armored up, and he's like walking away, and he has that helmet, and I love that shot. That shot is just an awesome shot. What's tell me what's one of the most exciting things that you've done or shot so far?
I've shot with a couple of UFC fighters, El Nino, but one of my favorite fighters of all time has always been Uriah Faber. And since FightLogic sponsors a fighter from Team Alpha Male, I had an opportunity to meet him. And you always see these fighters on TV, but you never know what they're like in real life. So when I got there, I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting to meet some cocky fighters. Yeah. But meeting Uriah Faber, Chad Mendez, and they were just so humble, so, I mean, just greet you with open arms, and I was very surprised.
Yeah, Team Alpha Team Alpha Male, they're really good at making you feel like you're part of the family out there. And that's because, like you said, they just have a really good vibe, a really good attitude. They don't have that cockiness. They don't have that. Right. I mean, and I'm sure they could if they wanted to. I mean, they're champs, pro champs. So some of your favorite shots were taking pictures of them?
Oh yeah, it was some of my favorite shots. And also, shooting for Extreme, shooting Matthew Ramirez and their camp. Matthew's, I watched him from his first fight, and he's already had 4 wins. So.
All right.
So that's another one of my favorite shoots.
Well, great. All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. That was that was too fast, but it's all good. We'll keep you. We'll have you guys come back, and we'll keep talking about what you guys have more for the future. If people want to visit and actually see some of your work, we've actually been playing some of the pictures, so they know what we're talking about. If people want to see more of your work, where do they go to visit?
Hey, it's all Adom Media.
AdomMedia.net. All right. Well, check out Adom Media and check out because he's part of the FightLogic family, and support. And enjoy those pictures, and we'll be right back with some more. Welcome back, everybody, back to FightLogicTV here in the studio. And today we're graced with the beautiful Lana from Lana's Egg White. Hi.
So great to be here.
Yes, so great to have you.
Thanks, Juan.
So you just are the talk of the town. Anytime I talk to anyone and anywhere we're going, I see this Lana's Egg White.
So lucky. Yeah, it's been really good. We started in 1995, and it's just been growing, and it's been my little baby, so it's been just beautiful. And now working with Ralph and everybody and all the MMA fighters, it's just grown so much more.
So tell us, how did it first start? How did it first come out? How did you first get into the world of bodybuilding and the world of just developing physiques and health?
It's a beautiful story, actually. When I was just a little baby, I was really eating egg whites because my mom and dad were bodybuilders. Oh. So way back in the day, and they were on covers of magazines, and they ate egg whites. And so all through the years, we grew up kids eating egg whites, and then I was lucky to, my dad was a personal trainer and trained Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and the Barbarian Brothers, and so we just grew with the bodybuilding scene, and we were all trainers, my whole family, my sister, my dad, and I. And then I started dating Roland Kickinger, and he's from Austria, and Arnold brought him over, and he was a Weider boy, and he was graced the cover of Muscle and Fitness 5,000 times. Yeah. And so he had an egg white company, so we were dating, and the story's so cute because he said, I'm going into the movies, Lana, so you must take over the egg whites. So we went home, and we're all like trying to figure out what am I going to name it. I'm in the dictionary looking for, cool protein names. And
embryo
Yeah,
eggs.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And my brother's like, yo, Mrs. Fields used her own name. So I said, really, should I? And I was kind of embarrassed, and they said, just do Lana. So there it was, 1995, and I took it from Roland, so I owe him so much, And but way back in the day, and Lee Haney, and back to those Mr. Olympians, and of course I'm only 27. I don't know how I know all these people.
I thought you were only 21, darling.
And but yeah, Lee Haney and all of them. Every time I would meet them, just eat your egg whites before you go to bed. And
oh wow, so let's talk about eat egg whites before you go to bed. I never heard of that.
Yeah, so it helps you metabolize.
Obviously,
through
if
the
you guys
night.
haven't told, I mean, you know, if you guys can't see, I really work out. I haven't
But
really
that's
heard about
okay
that.
because we're starting to train tomorrow,
Yeah.
like we talked about on
We
break.
talked about it, yeah.
And we're doing the new menu
Yeah.
for you. So yeah,
I
so
want really nice
and
glutes.
yeah, we're gonna get the butt up in the air
Yeah.
behind your neck. So,
I can twerk.
that starts tomorrow. You're gonna twerk, yeah, this off you, and no twerking.
No twerking
We
on
talked
Benton.
about
Yeah,
that because
no
the
twerking.
studio's kind of has been. There's some. Look at. Right
Stop
up there.
twerking over there.
Twerking.
See?
Cameraman,
You get people
jeez.
excited.
I can't
They're
believe
twerking.
it. Drinking the egg whites. And
Okay, so
this is crazy.
So egg whites, you can have some at night.
Yeah, and just before you go to bed, you can slam them down like a lot of the bikini girls do. They just put a little bit of cinnamon in them, or you could just nuke them in the microwave in a glass bowl. And I kind of do that, and I watch Jay Leno before I go to bed. Or
Oh, so the whole so these are you could just drink it down just like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky, but without the yolk.
right, and these are heat pasteurized,
Oh,
so they
nice.
don't go bad.
Oh wow.
And you can cook them in the pan, or nuke them, or bake them.
So I could just take this. I could put it in a smoothie. I can grill it up. I can just drink it naturally. And it's preserved. So
Put it on your face, do a facial.
Oh, I know. That's what I was saying. What about a facial?
Yeah, absolutely. And my girlfriend dropped it on her floor, on her wood floor one day. She said it was the cleanest her floor ever was. So we're going to start a book on what you can do with it.
Cool.
Bathe in it, you know, all
that'd
kinds
be
of
cool.
fun things. Yeah. It's good for the skin.
Nice.
And it's, you know, a lot of people are forgetting how much protein they need in a day.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And
you need a lot.
how important is protein? I mean, not just for the bodybuilder, but for the average person.
Well, that's just it. And today, finally, the soccer mom's discovering how important it is. A woman that's getting older, we're losing our elasticity. So it's just, you know, the truest form of amino to your muscle.
Ah.
So that's why it's so great for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, because you look ravishing,
Thank you
darling.
very much.
Very nice. Yes.
Those 3 cocktails you had first. Drink up, I get prettier. And you can make them
Can you
Remus
make-
fizzes,
do
you know,
they
for
make-
brunch on a Sunday. So we do have our second cookbook coming out. So I'm adding a few cocktails for Sunday
Nice.
after church. That
Nice.
is.
Little Sunday fun day stuff,
Yeah.
huh? With some of the egg
And
whites.
it's been great too because before it was just the bodybuilder and the bikinis, and then it was the men's physique finally and the figure girls. So now the MMA guys, you know, they have to drop the weight really fast. So they're just slamming them down or eating them with turkey. So
How did the evolution then go from, you know, you're dealing with the bodybuilders, and then how does it go that you're going into the MMA? How do you get into that field?
Well, I think the bodybuilder was so smart so many years ago, you know, they just studied on how to make muscle in the body, and more muscle you have, lean muscle tissue, gets rid of fat.
Right.
So they were on it. And then then the wonderful movies came out, Coyote Ugly, Sex in the City, eating their egg white omelets. And then I remember like Missy Elliott, you know, losing all the weight, and Usher and Snoop Lion now, you know, all of them are eating the egg whites. And so the MMA people just started juicing with them too.
Oh.
So, you know, King Mo, my beautiful fighter, he lives on them. And Phil Baroni, they all juice with them. Phil Baroni and his wife Angela, you know, Josh Appelt, another Bellator fighter I have, and Max Griffin, and so many of my fighters, they're just living on them now. So
Nice.
it's just been, Joe Neal, he just did his fight, and he
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
drop a lot of weight.
Just one, too.
Yes,
First.
just one. Yay, Joe Neal.
Great to see.
So yeah, so they just eat them in the
just
pan.
eat 'em
It's
up
easy
just like
for
that.
guys too. You know, Juan, it's really easy
Yeah, just
because
blend 'em, boom.
yeah, you don't got to cook 3 different things or yeah.
Now people see this and they're like, now because when you were
It's
talking about
overwhelming,
it,
the size
well, no,
of it.
yeah, I was thinking like, okay, like when I was trying to be healthy, you know, I'd do it and it'd crack and do that little flip, flip, and then toss it a little.
It's all
toss
done.
the yolk. How does this happen?
Yeah, mechanically cracked. And then it's just, there's a heat temperature that just gets rid of any salmonella. So the eggs that are in the store are, you know, more apt to have salmonella.
Right.
This is not, so this is fresh.
Right.
So
Oh,
they're
wow.
sitting on the trucks for 2 weeks coming from, you know, another, you know, state or whatever. So these
So
are
what's
just,
from the time of cracking to the time of getting it to the market? What's that normally?
just like we pick them up in a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we pick them up in a day. And it's the shelf life is 35 days in the fridge. There's 16 cups in here. So a lot of people go, wow, that's a lot. Do you have a smaller size? Well, for a bikini girl, she's done with it in 4 to 5 days. You know, Jay Cutler or Phil Heath, my Mr. Olympian athletes, they can eat 140 egg whites a day.
Wow.
So this is 165 egg whites, so that goes pretty fast. The regular soccer mom's about 2 weeks.
And we were talking about it.
14
like
days.
we were saying there's so many things you can do with
Yeah.
egg whites too. So do people sometimes put them into their pastries and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have lots of, oatmeal muffins, and yeah, one of my athletes, Tobias Young, he's really been making a lot of fun things for us. So my second cookbook's coming out.
Nice. So
and it's lanaseggwhites.com too. So if anybody writes me, I'm always happy to send them recipes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we're really good about that.
That's awesome. All right, well, thank you very much for spending
You're
time with us.
so welcome. It's over?
It's
We're done? We're going to train tomorrow
We're
and
going to
that's
train
it?
tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I'm
Get
going
your
to. I'm going to
sleep.
try to go home and eat some. Yeah, I'm going to go home, get my rest, and then eat some egg whites.
Sounds good.
Like I said, I heard nothing but rave reviews about it, so it's awesome. Thank you for spending time with us.
You're welcome.
And letting everybody get to know who you are.
Thanks, and the crew is so fabulous here, and thanks to Ralph and FightLogic and all these wonderful people. It's such a great place here.
All right, well, make sure that you come and visit us again, because
I
you're
will.
always welcome to hang out here, and then maybe we could do a little cooking segment one of these times.
I think we should.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay, let's do that.
We can do smoothies, and then we can do
Omelets.
an
We can
omelet.
bake.
And we'll do it quick with microwave, because we have a microwave.
We'll feed the whole building.
We'll just do it.
We'll feed San Jose.
Let people know that they could do it. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you
Keep
guys.
watching. We'll be right back. More Fight Logic TV.
This is the story of a young man who found his purpose in life. In the beginning, it seemed like every road he came across had a detour, and he never knew what he was meant to do. The little voice in his head would tell him that he was incapable, inadequate. But he realized along the way, failing does not make you a failure. Giving up does. His purpose became the roadmap. It guided him, showed him that anything was possible. In spite of fear, in spite of doubt, there will always be worry. The question is, will you let it stop you?
Welcome everybody back to Fight Logic here in the studio. Today we are graced with Fabian Gutierrez. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
Nice. So I like your Fight Logic shirt.
Thank you, sir. Best t-shirt company in the Bay Area.
Nice. Thank you. I heard you went to Vegas and you were wearing a Fight Logic shirt around the pools.
You go out there wearing Fight Logic, you get attention. Trust me.
Nice. Nice to know. Nice to know. It's always good. All right. Well, so let's talk a little bit about yourself. And you're one of our Fight Logic fighters. And tell us a little about yourself, where you fight out of, and let people know what's going on.
So I'm a San Jose local, born and raised San Jose. I've been training locally. I come out of AKA. I've been training. I started in jiu-jitsu, mainly jiu-jitsu competitions. They asked me to take a fight. I took a fight. I won. And they asked me if I wanted to keep going. I liked it.
Interviewing people and getting to know people, that's sometimes just how it goes down. They just say, you want to do it, you do it, and you're like, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think just coming on into the sport and competing, you don't look at the fight as an actual fight with another person as you would in the street.
Yeah.
You look at it as a competition.
Right.
You play football, you play soccer, any sport you play, it's a form of competition, and once you're out there, you're not looking at it like you hate the guy.
No.
You're just going out there trying to beat him up, but you're trying to be smart about it and using your technique.
You're using techniques and tactics, and it's not like a street fight. You don't know what the heck's going to happen. At least when you're in the octagon, you are, there's rules somewhat that you have to. I mean, I'm sure people could easily break their rules, right? But there's some sort of rules that you actually have to do. So it does change the mental thing.
Yeah, it definitely changes the mental aspect. But right after the fight, I've had some guys that we talk, we've stayed in contact, and we actually became friends.
Nice.
You don't hold anything against them. You're not going to look at them after a loss and be mad at them. You might have to fight them again, even after you're friends. But at that point, it's the part of the competition. It's part of the business.
Yeah. Poquitos chingazos está bien, and then son amigos. That's great.
Yeah.
So you said you started jiu-jitsu. How did you first start? What got you involved into mixed martial arts like that?
Actually, I used to be a little bit more heavy set. I was like 270, no muscle tone, and my friend kind of got me into jiu-jitsu, and I started doing it just to fool around and I was trying to get in shape. I started, I guess, getting pretty good at it. I started doing competitions, and from there it was just history.
So then you got your first fight, or they asked you to fight your first fight. You jumped in your fight. Were you already with AKA at this point?
At that point, I wasn't with AKA. I was just starting off at a different gym. And right there, I was training. It was mainly jiu-jitsu. It was more, I was training with a good friend of mine, a great jiu-jitsu practitioner in the Bay Area. His name's Samir Chantre. Awesome guy, and he actually helped me, because anyone that knows about fighting, before the fights you're so nervous, and that helped me soothe my nerves before I went out there. So and the funny thing is that even though I started with jiu-jitsu, all my fights have been all stand-up. No ground.
Oh wow! So you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and here you go having your matches, and you don't even go on the ground.
Yeah, I've rarely gone onto the ground. There's a lot of guys like that. You train one aspect, but sometimes you don't use it a lot. But the way some people say is, you want to make sure that you're using your other skills, and your best skill you save it for last. So if it does go there, you're comfortable, and you can move around with that.
Nice. So when it comes to the stand-up, are you more of a puncher or more of a kicker?
I'm more of a puncher. I like to get in there, mix it up a bit. My kicking, my Muay Thai is still coming along. Working with some great guys at AKA. So one of the guys that was supposed to be here today, Gabriel Carrasco, awesome Muay Thai fighter. We have some great guys at AKA, the kickboxing there, of course, American Kickboxing Academy. Yeah. So we have Javier Mendez, legend in Muay Thai. Yeah. So it's great place to train.
Yeah, we had him. We actually went to AKA. I interviewed him down at the newest facility, and he's champion. So I mean, world champion. It's cool, and then to have him, help you develop and work with your skills. And the cool thing I like about there is that gym has just so much. There's just so much to do there. I mean, geez, there's even racquetball, right?
Yeah, they do have 2 racquetball courts. No, but the greatest thing about AKA is that you walk in there. The first time I walk in there, I was just floored. You have all these pros. You have these guys coming in, and they're so calm. They're so humble and real cool guys. You go in there, and it's just a great place to train.
Okay, so now you're training. You've moved on to AKA. You're developing more of your techniques, your skills. You're having more weapons ready. Then what happens? You start having your second or third fight, or what's going on at this point?
Well, I've already had some more fights, but with the fight game, you just want to continue to train. You want to continue to get better, and you never stop learning. Right. Professionals will tell you that you see guys at the highest level, and they're still being. The funny thing is, Javier he's such a great coach, and you see him telling Kane to, you know, he's doing something wrong, and you're looking at him, and you're like, this guy's heavyweight champion of the world. But as a fighter, you never stop learning, and you just got to continue evolving.
Right? Because, I mean, if you think about it, if you don't evolve, if you don't continue to learn and you put yourself in a box, then you don't get out of that box, right? You're just locked in there.
Exactly. You have to be really open-minded. There's guys that go in thinking that, you know, they've learned one aspect and they're really good at one aspect, so they're going to focus on that, but they don't evolve their game, and this fight game changes so fast. You've seen in the UFC, you have guys that, you know, jiu-jitsu reigned king for a while, wrestling reigned king for a while, and it's just changing. Every fight is something new, so we have to always be open to evolve.
Yeah, you have to have all those weapons to be able to really be a true successful champion. And then, I mean, and not only that, the more training you do, like you said, your brain evolves, develops, and you're just better, 100%, right?
Yeah, your skill sets is, I feel like the more you know, and the more you're open to it, you're going to be ready for anything, any type of fighter. You know, you go in there and you're expecting someone, and like I mentioned, I did jiu-jitsu. I was told after one of my fights, they were like, oh, we thought you were going to go to the ground. And we were training a lot of jiu-jitsu, but I just stood up. So
smart.
So that's the thing, that even though you think you know someone and you've seen game tape on someone, that doesn't mean that that's what they're going to do during your fight. So you have to make sure that, you know, you're open and you're ready for everything.
And you're always training hard. Well, that's some great stuff to leave us with today. Thank you very much for hanging out with us, Fabian. It was really our pleasure. If people want to get a hold of you or visit or just check out your pages or anything, do you have a Facebook or something that they might want to hit you up?
You can find me on Facebook. My first name, Fabian, Favian, space Gutierrez. And Instagram, first name _ Gutierrez. Always posting up cool stuff.
Nice.
And posting up my training. So
nice. And look for you wearing your Fight Logic gear.
Find me with my Fight Logic gear anywhere.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks again, everyone, for spending another day with us here at Fight Logic. Remember, you are in control of everything that you do. Continue to be the best that you can. Thank you very much. Have a nice one.